Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and it is almost October. This has been a very hectic month, to say the least, and I've had absolutely no time to work on videos. First, I had to build the new computer, and it was an absolutely excellent little build. Nothing really went wrong, although it's been so long since I've actually built a computer, I forgot that the little bits of plastic that surround the processor, yeah, you gotta remove that to put a CPU cooler on. And I was like, there's no holes! What am I supposed to do? Do I have to send it back because it's, they didn't drill them or something? And it's like, oh, you just remove that. I haven't actually built a computer since 2012. I really missed actually, building my own PC, upgrading all the components and things of that nature. For the last couple of years, it's actually been thanks to you guys, the fans, donating parts to the PC to keep this thing running. Now, thankfully, I can just buy my own and actually have it be, modern, or more modern than it has been. I still want to shout out to PC Gamer by Default. He actually sent me a motherboard and processor back in 2016, and I've been using it since then, and I've only just now replaced it. Not only that, but he also assisted me getting this system set up. I decided to tech up to Ryzen. I'm running a 2200G, and I'm using a Gigabyte Aorus motherboard, and I've got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. I also replaced the power supply, but that was also another donated part. Not by PC Gamer by Default, but by another fan. The power supply I'm running is an EVGA 750 watt modular power supply. But back to PC Gamer by Default. I didn't know that I had to go into the BIOS and actually turn off the onboard graphics for the processor. Yeah, it's a weird thing now. The Ryzen processors have something called Vega graphics, and it's an actual APU. And that is actually pretty powerful. Not as powerful as the GTX 970. I didn't upgrade the GPU because I couldn't find a GPU better than the one I have now. I mean, you can get some gains, but not much. But the APU that's on the processor is pretty good in and of itself, but not as good as the 970. That being said, though, didn't know you had to turn it off. So, thanks to PC Gamer by Default, I knew to turn it off, and did. Another thing he also advised me on was actually changing the RAM of... On the motherboard, it set the RAM speed as, I think, like 1700 megahertz, I think, when the RAM I have is able to run at 3000 megahertz. Thanks to him telling me about that, I was able to set it at the proper speed. So, now this thing is running optimally. So, thanks to him for that. So yes, I now have a new and upgraded PC, and I should be able to easily run Doom Eternal, and I'm quite looking forward to that game. The PC can run just about any game from this year on all Ultra 60 FPS at 1080. One of the other upgrades I got for the PC was a new 32-inch 2K monitor. I think I mentioned this in the last vlog, because that's the part I got first, and I got that back in August. The 2K monitor is really, really good. I mean, I really enjoy having this giant viewing space, but the processor I have is not quite powerful enough to run games from this year in 2K, or even some of the more high-intensity games like Doom 2016. I can run it in 1080p, maxed out, 60 FPS, but I cannot run it on 2K. I can run it on 2K at 30 FPS, but that's just not really good enough for me. So yeah. But I can actually run some older games at 2K, such as Far Cry 3, which I'm doing a replay of, and Dark Souls 2. And it's kind of fun to run it at 2K. I don't feel that 2K is that much better than 1080p. I certainly wouldn't ever get like a 4K or 8K monitor. It's just not... Honestly, going from 1080p to 2K, it just doesn't look that much better to me. I just like the wide viewing space more than anything else. So yeah, PC. And then another weekend in September, I ended up going to Dallas for a little family get-together. And I really enjoyed that trip. I haven't actually gone anywhere in about a year, unfortunately. And it's always cool to get out of, one's city and see the countryside. What's always rather interesting, though, is to see all the changes. It's kind of depressing in a way, though. We were driving down a concrete road that I can't remember at the moment. But anyway, it's a path I've gone on many times for many years. It's just like Texas is getting a bit more built up than I would like. I mean, they say it's progress, but seeing like a 8-lane highway where once it was just like, like 4 or even 2 lanes, it's like, ugh. One of the things that was really kind of depressing is there was one time over a decade ago now, probably almost 20 years ago, my grandfather and I were going to Dallas, and we got stuck in some traffic, and we were sitting at a standstill for like 2 hours. And we had a trailer attached, I remember this, a trailer attached to the van, and we decided to go across the median, go back kind of the way we came, and then we hit like some side roads. And you can't do that anymore. There's a big concrete divider, and it's like, just one little bit of freedom crushed. So yeah, that's one of the things. It's also kind of cool to drive through some of the small towns in Texas. I mean, I've heard that small town living is not quite as ideal as I might make it, but it's still kind of cool to see the little towns and things of that nature. And they always have a Dollar General, a Family Dollar, and a Dollar Tree. They all have it. Either that or a Walmart. And of course they have the antique shops and things of that nature. I don't know if that's good or bad, but whatever. So yeah, I've been really, really, really busy this past month. As of today, I'm going to try to get most of Episode 1 Racer finished. It's going to be a very short video, but it's kind of all I have time for. And Episode 1 Racer, it's a racing game. There's only so much I can say about it. Let's see what else we got. Usually I like to have some sort of message in these vlogs, and the message today is don't give up. No matter how hard life may get, don't get up. Because you never know if there might be a way to succeed. You see, I have a college degree. I've mentioned this in other vlogs, and I'll mention it again. I've got a college degree, a 4-year degree actually, in criminal justice, a Bachelor of Science. Sadly, that's proven to be kind of useless. When I got the degree, I immediately ran out and I canvassed the city with resumes. And everyone said, oh, we're not hiring. I ended up having to work at a hardware store, which wasn't that horrible, but I really hated overnights. Really hated it. It's like, I'm a college graduate and I have to work at a hardware store. But money's money, and that's all that matters. But, it's like, it wasn't as useful as I would have liked. Now that I've got a much better job, it has nothing to do with criminal justice. So it's like, yeah, was that worth it? I don't know. That's just one of the issues when it comes to like getting a degree. Is it going to be as useful as one thinks? I don't know. But what I do know is that I've not given up on searching for success. In fact, I've decided to actually pursue, PC repair as my career. I've always been into PCs ever since I was, a child. I don't know why I didn't, go to college for that. There was a time when I thought I wanted to be an attorney, and that's what I went to college to do. Life didn't work out that way. I should have just, done the computer thing. Alas, I did not. But hey, doesn't matter. I'm only 30, and so I've got the rest of my life ahead of me, which is why I've begun the process to getting an A+ certification. And look at the size of that book. It's like a bloody phone book. So yeah, going to be getting my A+ certification as soon as I am able. So I'm going to study for like a year. And basically, you got to take, I think, 2 tests, and each test is like $1,000. But then you can get a certification, and you can make a good amount of money, which I quite like, to say the least. So that is something that I'm going to start working on. Now, when it comes to videos, I'm going to still keep trying to get at least 1 review a month out. In fact, next month, I'm going to try to get out 3 videos that are sort of review related. I'm going to try to get out 2 in addition to next month's review. Next month's review is going to be Star Wars Empire at War, and the 2 ancillary reviews are going to be, potentially, a second shots video of the Ruger Standard Mark IV. I actually recorded the footage for that this month, but I haven't had any time to edit it, because, And the other video, which I hope to actually do next week, time permitting, is of Doom Annihilation. That's coming out, I think, Tuesday. I'm going to get it when it comes out, and then I'm going to try to watch it on Friday with Ragekill and Rainick, and then we're going to do a collaborative vlog-style review of it. Looking at some of the early reviews, it doesn't look very good, but there's some reviews that praise it. It's one of those things where I want to see it for myself to see if it's as bad as people say it is. I'm hoping it's actually pretty good. I'm hoping that Doom Girl is more of just a sort of a ripoff of Ripley, a Ripley off, if you will, just because Ripley works. I mean, it's just, a female archetype that is entertaining to watch. I don't know if they're going to SJWize it. I follow the director on Twitter, and he is not an SJW. I've actually seen him call out some of the more insane political things that the Squad likes to do. So I think he's fairly based, I suppose. So it could be a good film. You'd have to do pretty bad to do any worse than the previous Doom film. I thought the previous Doom film was just a complete wreck from start to finish. I know some find it as a guilty pleasure. I don't know what pleasure you could get out of that movie. I've seen it twice, and that's plenty. I'd love to have the review up, but unfortunately YouTube keeps taking it down, so what are you going to do? I wanted to get out this month an Ion Maiden review, or an Ion Storm. No, Ion Fury, there we go. An Ion Storm review out this month, and I recorded the gameplay footage, but I never had a chance to write a script or anything like that. And I'm not going to have time for that next month either, I don't think. I also wanted to do a review of Killing Floor 2, and I recorded the gameplay footage for that, but didn't have enough time to do that either. Basically, I'm kind of strapped for time when it comes to doing reviews, which I guess is good and bad. It's good that I have a life, but it's bad because I can't do the videos. But yeah, I haven't been able to do the live streams recently, which is kind of annoying. But such is life. I'm going to definitely try to keep the live streams consistent next month. One of the big problems is I'm usually just so tired by the time Friday rolls around that it's like I don't really want to do like a 1 hour to 3 hour live stream, because as much as I enjoy those, they just do take what little energy I have left. Getting up before the crack of dawn ain't easy, I can tell you that. Next month's live stream is actually going to be of Doom 2016, because I want to replay that game in a live stream before Doom Eternal comes out. Because I'm actually pretty excited about Doom Eternal. Because modern games generally are crap, especially with all the microtransactions and things of that nature. But Doom Eternal looks pretty good. It looks like they're trying to rip off Diablo. That's what I'm... Not in terms of gameplay, but in terms of story. And I think they're also ripping off Spawn a little bit. Some of you probably haven't even heard of Spawn, because he's since fallen into obscurity, which, he had one pretty bad movie and a really good HBO TV series, but that HBO TV series is very, very 90s. Not so much in that it's, like, extreme, but rather in that it's very dark. It's darker than what you'd get today, and it's not... You watch Spawn, the HBO series, for different reasons than you would watch, say, Iron Man. And Spawn's kind of a hard to market character anyway. But it looks like Doom Eternal is going to be kind of like a cross between Diablo's story and kind of Spawn. In Diablo, you have, the Hells and then the High Heavens, I think. I haven't played Diablo in like many years. But anyway, you got Heaven and Hell. Holy Diver. But anyway, actually, that's a wrong thing. Holy Diver is actually Dio's band, whereas Heaven and Hell is actually Black Sabbath. But whatever. That being said, you got Heaven and Hell, neither of which are particularly friendly to humanity. And so I'm thinking maybe they're going that route in Doom Eternal, where like Doom guy's got to fight against both. Spawn has to do the same thing in his comic series. So, and hell, hell, literally. Doomslayer now has that little chain he shoots out of a shotgun that looks a lot like the chains that Spawn has. Just saying. So I'm excited. I'm not going to be as jaded as I normally am with these things. If it's really bad, well, we can laugh at it. If it's really good, we can have a lot of fun. We'll just have to see. So, let's see. November's going to be a busy month because I want to get TIE Fighter out and I want to get Doom Eternal out. We'll just have to see how that works. Book reviews are still here to stay. It's got a good response. Even with YouTube, like, completely hiding all of my content, it still gets responses, so I'm happy to see that. October's book reviews are going to be of Realm Slayer, which is an audio drama with Brian Bless's Go Trek. It's going to be... I think I mentioned this in the previous video as well, but I'll mention it here too, in case no one saw the previous vlog. You got Realm Slayer, you've got the Duchy of Terra, you've got Space Knight, which is basically an ego trip book. And then finally, for the Halloween review, we're going to have the Alien 3 audio drama. That's going to be the special Halloween video. It's still just going to be audio, but it should be fun enough. One other thing to show off that I acquired recently is a poster of the original Alien vs. Predator, the arcade game. It's a very epic poster. I found that off of eBay randomly one day, and it makes me very, very happy indeed. Let's see what else we've got, ladies and gentlemen. I do have one thing I'm going to hype up right now. It's a video that might come out next month, or it might come out in November, just depending on time. But fans of certain things and certain video games will know what this sound is. Oh yes, that's coming soon. Just got to work a lot more 10-hour days for that. But that is something that I'm going to have before the end of the year. I'm not going to say what it is, but fans of video games, various historical films, and firearms will know what that means. So, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. September, I still was able to get some book reviews out, as you can see, although technically all those were recorded in August. But yeah, definitely going to keep plugging away with the channel, and everything on my end's going pretty good. I hope everything is going good on everyone else's end. And remember, even if things aren't going good, keep plugging away, because if you plug away long enough, you can eventually find happiness and find success. And so, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you good, AVP1, and good. Clang, clang, clang. Whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this awesome content.